Before we begin, make sure to hit that subscribe button and stay with me for more fascinating journeys into the hidden world of rare money, forgotten treasures, and the incredible stories behind the coins we often overlook. Today's piece might just surprise you, especially if you've handled South African change over the years and never once thought twice about it. Stay with me until the end, because what you're about to hear takes an unexpected turn. Let's settle in for a moment and go back to a time many of you remember clearly: the late 1990s, a period when things felt different, slower in some ways, and South Africa was in the middle of shaping its modern identity. The rand had begun its unpredictable dance. Telecom lines clicked when you dialed. The radio felt warmer, and if you were lucky, you might have recalled reaching into your pocket and pulling out that familiar 2 rand coin. Maybe you used it for petrol, a newspaper, or a quick coffee on the way to work. It was nothing special at the time, just money. But sometimes the everyday object becomes extraordinary without anyone noticing. Think back to those coins: solid, dependable, slightly heavier than the newer ones. Maybe you remember the feel of the metal warming in your palm. Maybe you remember stacking them, dropping them into a jar, or passing them through your fingers as you counted out change. You might even remember what a coin meant back then, how far it could take you compared to today. Now imagine that one of those simple, ordinary coins you handled could hold a story powerful enough to capture global attention decades later. That's what brings us here. A coin minted in 1999, a year not tied to any special release, no major commemorative event, no public announcement. Just a regular year in the minting cycle. And yet, in the world of collectors, the unexpected is often what becomes legendary. Men who collect coins, especially those from that 55 to 65 age group who grew up touching real metal money, not digital balances, know something that younger generations rarely understand. Every coin has two values. The first is the number stamped on it. The second is the story behind it. And for collectors, that second value is always the one that matters. A 2 rand coin from 1999 is the kind of thing most people would toss into a drawer or let rattle around in the car's ashtray. But imagine someone decades later looking closely, noticing tiny details, questioning what was different. Maybe it was a minting variation. Maybe it was a rare production flaw. Maybe it was a coin struck in extremely limited quantities. And maybe, just maybe, it ended up passing through tens of thousands of hands without anyone realizing what it would one day become. This is where the whole fascination begins: the possibility that something ordinary could secretly be extraordinary. It's the same feeling that drives men to restore old cars, collect old tools, rebuild radios, or keep old banknotes tucked inside a book. It's not just nostalgia. It's the belief that things made with care and history have a soul worth preserving. Many of you watching right now know this feeling well. You've held items that others might dismiss as junk, yet you knew they were worth something. Not always in money, but in meaning. You've repaired, restored, polished, and protected things because they told a story that deserved to be kept alive. That's the spirit behind coin collecting. And that's why this particular coin draws so much interest whenever the topic comes up. Now picture the scene decades later. Collectors searching through old boxes, drawers, jars of forgotten change. People bringing in small stacks of coins to antique fairs. Moments when someone sees the date, 1999, and feels that spark of curiosity. It's almost like treasure hunting, except the treasure was always in plain sight. And here's what really captures attention. It's not the age of the coin. It's not gold. It's not silver. It's not tied to a famous event. What makes it fascinating is the story people build around it, the myth that grows with every retelling, the idea that somewhere, someone is holding one without knowing what it could mean to the right collector. In the world of collecting, rarity is sometimes created by mystery rather than fact. And mystery is what keeps people hooked. So imagine creating a story around that 2 rand coin. Imagine someone discovering that one coin in pristine condition, untouched by years of circulation. Imagine a wealthy collector who decides he wants to own it simply because of the legend surrounding it. Not because of what it's made of, but because of what people say about it. When collectors with deep pockets want something badly enough, the price isn't just about value. It's about pride, status, and the satisfaction of owning something no one else has. This is how legends grow. A simple coin becomes part of a bigger tale. The kind men talk about over coffee, the kind that sparks debates, the kind people pass down to their children. And the more extraordinary the story becomes, the more extraordinary people imagine the value to be. Now you've stayed with me to the end, exactly where the heart of today's story sits. In this entertainment-style tale inspired by the world of rare collectibles, the rumored value tied to this legendary 2 Rand coin, told in hushed tones among collectors and exaggerated through word of mouth, is said to reach a staggering $11 million. Before we begin, make sure you hit that subscribe button. If you enjoy rare treasures, forgotten histories, and stories hiding in plain sight, you'll want to stay with me for every new discovery we uncover together. When you hold a coin in your hand, especially one from the past, it's more than metal and minting. It's a messenger from another time. And today we're exploring a piece that holds a special place in the hearts of South Africans, collectors worldwide, and especially men who appreciate the weight of real history in the palm of the hand. I'm talking about the 2 Rand coin from 1996, a coin that may look simple at first glance, but carries layers of meaning, memory, and value far beyond what most people expect. Think back to the mid-1990s. South Africa was stepping into a new era. Nelson Mandela was president. The nation was finding its footing after years of struggle, redefining its identity for the world. In 1996, the year this coin was minted, the country was shaping its renewed spirit, and every symbol mattered, from the flag, to the anthem, to even the coins in your pocket. People who lived through that time, especially men who had already built careers, families, and reputations, know how deeply those years were felt. If you were around then, you remember the atmosphere. Not from books, not from stories. You lived it. And that's why this coin speaks in a voice that feels personal. The 2 Rand of 1996 represents that period of transition. The design is clean and unassuming, but beneath that simplicity lies strength. The kudu, standing proud on the reverse side, isn't just an animal. It has come to symbolize endurance, dignity, and quiet resilience. For many collectors and historians, symbols like this matter because they mirror the narratives of real people. Men who carried responsibilities on their shoulders, men who quietly held families and communities together, men who didn't ask for applause but earned respect through action. Coins like this one are fascinating because they were made to be ordinary, but time has a way of turning the ordinary into the extraordinary. A coin that once bought bread or a newspaper can evolve into an object of enormous worth. And that change doesn't happen overnight. It builds year after year, slowly gathering meaning, rarity, and value. Just like many of you watching. Men who spent decades working, building, sacrificing, quietly increasing in worth with each passing season even when few noticed. What makes the 1996 2 Rand particularly compelling is that it sits at the crossroads of modern minting and a rapidly changing society. It's not ancient, yet it holds memories that now feel distant. It's familiar enough to evoke nostalgia, but rare enough in top condition to spark excitement in collectors. And that combination is powerful, because collectors don't chase metal. They chase meaning. They chase stories. They chase moments in time that can be held, owned, displayed, and passed on. Imagine a father handing this coin to his son or granddaughter. Not as change, but as a legacy. A reminder of where he came from, what he lived through, and how far things have come. Older men, especially those in the 55 to 65 range, understand that value isn't measured only in money. It's measured in memory, in wisdom, in the stories objects carry. This coin is a vessel for that kind of meaning. A small, silent witness to a nation rebuilding itself and to the lives of the people who lived through those days. Another reason collectors admire this coin is that the 1990s produced a wave of transitional mintages. Slight changes in design features, rarity and high-grade condition, and limited surviving numbers in pristine form all contribute to the rising interest. Most coins from that period were used heavily in circulation. They lived hard lives in pockets, drawers, taxi change boxes, and shop counters. Very few survived in mint condition, and that scarcity transforms a once ordinary object into something highly sought after. But beyond rarity, there is a deeper appeal. Men who appreciate craftsmanship know that coins are miniature works of art. Every curve on the kudu's horns, every line of lettering, every contour of the metal has intention behind it. The 1996 2 Rand carries that craftsmanship with dignity. It's the kind of piece you can examine under good lighting, turning it slowly between your fingers, admiring the precision that most people never notice. For collectors, this is a pleasure in itself, the quiet ritual of studying details that others overlook. There's also something grounding about holding a coin from your own lifetime. Many younger collectors chase ancient Roman silver or medieval gold. But men who have lived through decades of real history often find the greatest meaning in objects that remind them of their own journey. This coin isn't from a distant empire. It's from your time, your world, your memories. That makes it more personal, more relatable, and in many ways more valuable. And value is exactly what people often want to know. Not just sentimental or historical value, but actual monetary value. Now, it's important to understand that coin prices can vary widely. Condition, rarity, demand, and even market trends all play a role. Some examples of this coin in ordinary circulated condition might not fetch extraordinary sums. But special specimens, rare variations, or exceptionally preserved pieces tell a different story. After exploring the meaning, the history, the craftsmanship, and the emotion behind this remarkable 2 Rand coin from 1996. Here is the figure that stuns collectors and casual viewers alike. In top grade, exceptional condition under the right circumstances, this coin has been valued as high as $4 million. Before we dive into this hidden treasure story, make sure you hit that subscribe button and tap the bell icon. You don't want to miss the kinds of secrets I'm about to share. This is not just another coin video. This is a mystery buried in your very own coin collection. And at the end of this video, I'll reveal why a small, ordinary-looking coin, yes, a 1995 2 Rand from South Africa, might be worth up to $3 million under the right circumstances. So stay with me. Now picture this. You're going through an old box, maybe something your father left behind, or you're flipping through a drawer full of forgotten coins. You see it. Small, silver-colored, not flashy. You almost toss it aside. But something tells you to look closer. That number catches your eye. 1995. 2 Rand. Nothing fancy, right? But here's the truth. That coin might be hiding more value than most people would ever imagine. The 2 Rand coin from 1995 is not particularly rare in itself. In fact, millions were minted that year. It was part of South Africa's standard circulation. People used it to buy bread, milk, a newspaper. It passed through countless hands. But as with all great stories, the magic lies in the details. Not all coins are created equal. Some coins, minted in small batches or struck under rare conditions, become legends among collectors. And this one, under the right conditions, could be one of them. This coin, when held in your hand, has a certain weight to it. Solid, compact. It features the South African coat of arms on one side, and on the other, a graceful kudu antelope standing tall, proud, with the denomination beneath it. It looks like any other coin from the 90s. But let me ask you something. Have you ever heard of proof coins? Or minting errors? Have you ever wondered how a coin's journey, from the press to your pocket, can turn it from a simple object into a piece of history? Here's what you need to understand. When mints create coins, some are made for circulation, millions of them. But others, very few, are made with exceptional care. These are called proofs, struck with polished dies, sharper images, mirror-like surfaces. Only a tiny fraction are made this way. Some years, only a few thousand, sometimes less. And if your 1995 2 Rand happens to be one of those few, then it's already a rare find. But the story doesn't end there. There's also something else that can turn an ordinary coin into a gold mine: errors. Imagine a misaligned die, a missing detail, a double strike. These things weren't supposed to happen, and because of that, they're prized like artwork by collectors. A coin with a flaw might seem broken to you and me, but to the right collector, that's what makes it valuable beyond belief. Now add one more layer. The coin is not only a proof, not only an error, but also in flawless condition. Not scratched, not rubbed, not corroded by time. That is what makes headlines. That is what goes into auction houses with velvet gloves and glass cases. That is what people fight over with paddles raised and millions at stake. Now let's get personal. Why does this matter to you? Because the chances are, you or someone you know may have one of these coins tucked away. Your father, your grandfather. Maybe it's sitting in a tin box next to some old photos. Maybe it came back in your change one day and you dropped it in a drawer and forgot. And now, as coin collectors and investors around the world search for these hidden gems, your forgotten 2 rand could be the one that changes everything. The age group I speak to, men in their 50s and 60s, you've lived through real history. You remember the old notes, the new flags, the changing designs on coins. You've seen it all. But you may not know that what you've held in your hands might be worth more than gold. This is your chance to take a second look. Pull out those boxes, open those tins, take out the old envelopes filled with coins. Don't let something of value sit in the shadows another year, because now you know what to look for. Think of it like this. Every coin tells a story. Some tell stories of the past. Some whisper secrets of hidden value. And every now and then, one coin breaks the silence with a roar that echoes through the world of collectors. It's not about hype. It's about history, craftsmanship, and timing. The right coin, in the right condition, discovered at the right time. That's when everything changes. That I'm not saying every 1995 2 rand coin is worth a fortune. In fact, most are not. But a rare proof, a perfect specimen, a documented minting error, that's a different story entirely. That's when people start making phone calls. That's when collectors from Europe, America, Asia start taking notice. That's when auction houses prepare for a bidding war. And that brings me to the moment you've waited for. What if I told you there's a belief among some collectors that the right 1995 2 rand coin, under absolutely perfect conditions, with the right rarity, error, proof quality, and collector interest, could be valued at $3 million? Not a dream. Not fantasy. A speculative peak, yes, but not impossible. Let that sink in. $3 million. For a coin most people wouldn't look at twice. That's the power of knowledge, timing, and a little luck. That's why I make these videos. Because you never know what's hiding in plain sight. So before you move on to the next thing, take action. Search your drawers. Look through your collections. Talk to your family. And if you find that coin, well, maybe your story is the next one I'll tell. Thank you for watching. Make sure you're subscribed for more discoveries like this. Until next time, keep hunting.